Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. Michael Pollan's brilliantly simple food philosophy really just cuts right through the noise of all these modern fad diets. It's a great reminder that before we became so totally obsessed with micromanaging every single calorie, fat gram, and carb, humans honestly just thought about food as, well, food.
But let's be real. Actually navigating a modern supermarket to find those plants, that is a whole different story. The modern food landscape is a literal minefield for our health, just packed with ultra-processed items that actively drive metabolic syndrome and cardiovascular disease. So, in this explainer, we're going to equip you with a really fast, highly practical toolkit so you can confidently navigate those grocery aisles and totally bypass decision fatigue.
Here is our game plan for today. We're going to survey the modern food minefield, establish some baseline rules for real food, and then we'll jump right into the 30-second label triage, covering the 5-20 rule, how to decode carbs, and finally, getting you set up with your ultimate grocery action plan.
Section 1. The modern food minefield.
Right off the bat, we have to acknowledge that our grocery stores are literally designed to overwhelm us. Just think about the stark contrast between what our ancestors ate and the totally lab-created items filling the middle aisles today. It's an environment built to confuse you right at the point of purchase, with dense, crazy matrices of numbers on labels. Michael Pollan makes such a great distinction here. If an item contains 15 ingredients that a third grader can't even pronounce, or chemicals your great-grandmother wouldn't even recognize, it's not real food. It's just an edible food-like substance.
And to make matters even worse, we constantly fall for front-of-package marketing. This creates what researchers call a health halo. When you see claims like low fat? Yeah, you have to be super careful. What happens a lot of times is manufacturers will strip out the fat, sure, but to keep the flavor and texture from tasting like cardboard, they absolutely pump it full of refined sugar and starch. So this deceptive marketing actually increases the glycemic index of the product, which causes faster blood sugar spikes and ultimately leaves you way less full.
Section 2. Rules for real food.
So how do we fight back? Well, before we even pick up a box, we can filter out the junk using a few rapid mental shortcuts. First, stick to foods with less than 5 ingredients. If you can't pronounce them, just put it back. You also want to try and shop the perimeter of the store. That's where the fresh food that will actually eventually rot is kept. But get this, here's perhaps the most shocking fact to keep in mind. An incredible 94% of food marketing budgets are spent strictly on promoting processed foods. 94%. Because of this, Pollan's golden rule is literally to never buy foods you see advertised on television. If it needs a massive ad budget, it's probably not a whole food.
Section 3. The 30-second label triage.
Now, once a food actually passes those basic rules, we apply a rapid 30-second diagnostic triage. This sequence was designed by clinical dietitians and public health researchers. Because let's face it, you don't have 10 minutes to read a box in the aisle, you have maybe half a minute. So instead of reading the label linearly from top to bottom, this exact systematic progression lets you instantly weed out the bad items in the first few seconds, saving the detailed math only for the products that actually deserve your attention.
All right, the clock starts now. In your first 5 seconds, check the bottom of the list for allergens to immediately disqualify any unsafe items. Then, look right at the top 3 ingredients. This is absolutely crucial because ingredients are listed by weight, meaning those top 3 make up the vast majority of the food's mass. Next, moving to seconds 5 through 10, check the serving size. Figuring this out right away helps you avoid the multiplication trap. Where eating a whole container silently doubles or triples your intake of calories, sodium, and sugars without you even realizing it?
Section 4. The 5-20 nutrient rule. Next up, we spend 10 seconds rapidly auditing the food's metabolic impact using the percent daily value grid, which is based on a standard 2,000 calorie diet. 5% is your low threshold limit. You want to see 5% or less for high-risk nutrients, things like saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. Keeping these low is so critical to protect against hypertension and coronary heart disease, right? Because excessive sodium drives chronic kidney disease, high saturated fats elevate your bad cholesterol, and added sugars just cause those rapid insulin spikes we want to avoid. On the flip side, 20% is your target threshold. You want to see 20% or more for all the highly beneficial nutrients: dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. These are the ones you really want to aim high for to address common nutritional shortfalls. Fiber, for instance, is just essential. It keeps you full longer, it puts the brakes on blood sugar spikes, and it actually feeds your healthy gut bacteria.
Section 5. Decoding carbs and hidden sugars.
Okay, we're at the 20-second mark of our triage. Now, total carbohydrates don't actually tell the whole story, so we have to differentiate between refined starches and intact whole grains.
Harvard researchers actually developed a super easy trick for this. Simply divide the total carbs by 10. If the fiber is equal to or greater than that number, boom, you found a high-quality whole grain. So let's say a whole grain roll has 23 grams of carbs. You just divide that by 10 to get 2.3. If the dietary fiber listed is 5 grams, well, 5 is greater than 2.3, so it passes the test. The natural fiber matrix is completely intact.
Down to our final 5 seconds, and this is where we hunt for hidden sweeteners. Food manufacturers use a really sneaky strategy called sugar splitting. By using all these aliases like dextrose, agave, or malt syrup, the individual weight of each specific sugar drops way lower on the ingredient list. That keeps them conveniently out of those top 3 spots we checked earlier. You really have to train yourself to spot these aliases.
And definitely beware of the no sugar added trap. This is a big one. A fruit concentrate labeled this way can still cause massive insulin spikes simply because of its naturally occurring, highly concentrated fructose. No added sugar absolutely does not mean the product is sugar-free.
Section 6. Your grocery action plan.
So let's bring this entire clinical sequence together into an action plan you can actually use today. If you execute this exact flow, checking allergens, calibrating volume, applying the 5-20 rule, dividing carbs by 10, and finally scanning for aliases, you are going to confidently bypass all those misleading health halos in just half a minute, making evidence-based, metabolically healthy choices every single time.
Now, public health authorities around the world are currently developing front-of-package visual systems to eventually make shopping a whole lot easier. Systems like Europe's Nutri-Score, which grades foods from A to E, are incredibly intuitive. But until these sort of interpretive labels completely replace that confusing matrix of numbers globally, you're going to have to be your own clinician in the grocery aisle. Your 30-second audit is truly your best defense.
So before you even head to the grocery store next, I actually have a challenge for you. Go grab a box from your kitchen pantry right now and see if your favorite snacks actually pass the test. Check those top 3 ingredients. Run that 10-to-1 carbohydrate-to-fiber ratio. Look for the 5-20 rule. Honestly, you might just be shocked by what you find hiding in plain sight.